Did you enjoy that interview?
Not really.
Why?
Well, I met a guy, funny you should mention that, I met a guy when I was in France recently, and I met a guy, he wasn't a Frenchman, but he was over there, and he saw me, he was a bit drunk, and he came over and he went, Karl Pilkington's got a head like a fucking orange. And I high-fived him and we agreed. I thought, isn't that nice? You know, even when you're abroad, you can find someone who speaks sense.
Yeah. They shaved your head more?
No. It's just
They sort of greased it up a bit just to get a bit more reflection off it.
No, they put a lot of makeup on it. They said, do you want any makeup? And I said, not really. And that's when I was like at the back where they could have done it. And then I went and sat in the chair and there's like a live audience there. And the woman goes, no, I best do some colouring in. And it was like, must
She
be
gave
about
you a book to
50
colour in?
people.
Keep you
No,
occupied?
she started colouring my head in. And she was like had some brown powder. She's doing my head, doing the top of it and stuff. And I was going, isn't that enough now? And everyone's looking and sort of laughing to themselves that I'm having my head coloured in. Sure, she was doodling on the top. She took longer than anyone else who she was doing. I watched like other people who were on.
Well, she's got more flesh to do. When you do usually powder someone, it stops at the forehead. Yours had to go round to the fucking back.
Yeah, but the camera wasn't at the back of my head. She was just kept going.
No,
and
but
going.
the shine for the cameras that would get in
glare.
people's eyes.
They've got to be careful. Health and safety, the light will bounce off into the eyes of the audience.
Yeah.
Blind them.
Yeah, well, I wasn't happy with that anyway, so I'm not doing it again.
How do you cope with this newfound interest in you as a person?
I've got an idea, Steve, by the way. You know, for me, I want Karl to be famous so it gets him hassle in the street.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Sure.
When they see him in the street
yeah,
with his
yeah,
little
yeah,
fucking round-headed face like a fucking orange.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna do a tour, next year, okay? Called Fame, okay? And everywhere I play, if I hopefully play to millions of people in, you know, I might even go to America, but I'll make sure the theatres I play, or whatever, there's a picture of Karl on the seat, right, that they can put in their window. So next year, I want a picture of Karl
Or
in
what they're
every
arse
window.
with.
Or, or whatever. But if you can make this yourself, put Karl everywhere. So, have you seen this bald-headed twat? Please make up the posters.
Just send emails to friends.
Absolutely. I want to see pictures, if you own a shop, but a big picture of him. If you just, even if you, you know, your own home, your own flat, get it everywhere. Have you seen this bald-headed twat? This is Karl Pilkington. He's got a head like a fucking orange. Get it everywhere. I want to see the world papered with Karl's round head.
Happy New Year.
Oh, he's only gonna write it down for a whole fucking year.
That, of course, signifies another reading from Karl's diary. This is the last one of both 2006 and on any podcast for a while. Let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy some of the wisdom.
I also think
Karl
it's the
Pilkington.
last time ever he will make an entry in this diary, because you're not going to keep another one, are you?
I don't know yet. I might just get a smaller one. But I've found that since keeping a diary, I've gone out of my way to do more stuff.
Well, you say that, but
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if that's true.
No, I have.
I read a bit in the news about people being injured while trying to cut open avocados. It's a food that ain't worth injuring yourself for. If it's a hassle to get into, leave it to the experts. I have never bought one. I have also avoided coconuts and pineapples. The amount of hassle to get into these things outweighs the joys they give.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I never bought a pair of Dr. Martin boots. Too much hassle when it's time to take them off.
Yeah, a lot of my mates used to wear them in like the 80s. You know, you can't just kick them off, can you? It's a big upheaval.
Oh, you've got to unlace them, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, since I found shoes with Velcro on them, brilliant. Just the way, I don't understand why laces...
Is it because you can't tie your laces?
No, I can do it, but it's wasted time.
you're so lazy. Wasted time. That gives him more time to sit around and look at insects,
How long
eating
does it take to
biscuits.
take off a pair of boots?
Well, it's
14
ridiculous.
seconds?
He can't fit his days as it is.
No, but I don't understand how some inventions sort of catch on and other things don't.
But this is what I mean. He's got too much time on his hands. Sitting around at home thinking, why are we not using Velcro more?
But there's
Why
one
are we-
Velcro manufacturer going, yes! At
last.
last! He said what needed to be said!
Why don't you get it sponsored? Because you could wear a Velcro toupee. Because that would be great if we could do that. If someone could invent a little hairpiece for Karl, Velcro's the little bit of fluff he's got on the top of his head, his shiny orange-like head. Pop a little Velcro toupee on. I would love that. I would love to get him wearing a wig.
But why necessarily reduce it to a toupee? Why not some kind of carrying device? You know, he could carry goods and things around in there, sandwiches.
Yeah, he doesn't look like carrying a bag. Well, what about that? A little thing you carried around, a little Velcro thing you carried a pot on your head. for your sort of like keys and trinkets and money and that.
Well, no, I've told you about that idea that's out there, but hasn't caught on as well. The tie.
Right.
The tie with loads of pockets and stuff in it.
Yeah, but you got to wear a tie.
Yeah, but that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? I've never wore a tie because I always think, what's the point? It's just hanging there in the way.
Can you imagine this image of Carl walking around in his big Velcro shoes, a tie with an apple stuffed in it, car keys, iPod?
No, but don't you think it's a good idea?
Would you wear it with a shirt and collar or just a t-shirt?
No, wear it with a shirt. That's what I'm saying. It's an invention that will smarten up the world. Now, a tie, what does a tie do exactly?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Nothing.
Right. So I'm saying make it do something.
But I'm saying don't wear it at all. Pop your keys in the trouser pocket.
No,
or
because
take a bag.
Because the world is getting more and more scruffier, isn't it? When you look
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
When you look back at, like, Victorian times and everything, everyone wore a hat. Right, they wore a tie, they wore a suit. And it was a nicer looking place to look at. When you see it on pictures, you go, what a smart world that is.
Well, you can't see cholera and things on pictures, but sure.
No, but I'm just saying, it's better to try and cover it up with a bit of, you know...
Cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world looked nicer with more cloth. Whereas now everyone's rowing about scruffily. So what I'm saying is, if we make the tie more useful and give it a purpose, it might come back and the world will look tidier.
But a tie, its purpose is to look smart, really. Well, originally it was because we didn't have buttons, so it kept the collar up at the front. That was the invention. It was a useful invention, the tie.
Yeah,
it was called a tie. It tied together, okay? Yeah. So then, when we had buttons, that we didn't really need the tie, but it was a symbol of smartness, like saying, I've made an effort, okay? But now, that would go away. So now, you wouldn't look smart with a tie. They'd go, oh look, it's like a bag round his head with his apples and oranges and his keys and his sticks he's making a nest out of. So it would be scruffy. It would make the tie scruffy, so it would defeat the object. So now when you're carrying stuff round, I mean, crawling on all fours because your shopping's so heavy round your neck, they'd go, look at that scruffy fucker on all fours. Oh look, but look at his lovely head of hair. It's Velcro!
It's a hat!
Yeah, well, that's the other problem, isn't it? I can't go back to a wig now.
My theory about reading old news is right. It's less bad when you know it's old. It was a story about a weatherman who was fired yesterday for having a nude picture of himself on the internet. But that happened 2 days ago. He's probably got another job by now. So old news isn't as shocking.
Well, old news isn't news though, is it? It's olds. What are you doing? Just reading the olds?
No, but what I mean is, if someone...
Stick the video on of last week's news, I just want to catch up on the olds.
Yeah, but then it's still news. News is something that you don't know, isn't it? If someone tells you
that's everything to you.
That's information, Carl, not news.
Yeah.
But news is information.
No,
and
the key with news is the word new.
No, I don't think it is it? It's just information, but they tell you at 10 o'clock at night. It's like, what information's gone on? Bong. Here's some information.
Yeah, that you didn't know before, because you couldn't have, because it only happened today. Bong.
Yeah, but never mind that. I'll tell you in a couple of days. It doesn't matter as long as you get the same info. Bong.
Yeah, we can't call it news, though, because it's misleading. We'd get done. It's called olds. Bong.
Yeah, but listen to me theory. What I'm saying is that if someone in your family, you know, I don't want, it's Christmas and that, I don't want to bring the tone down, but someone dies in your family. Now say if you're away on holiday, and they don't call you because they don't want to ruin your holiday, and you come home, and they go, Uncle Frank's dead, and you go, oh, when did that happen? And they go, 2 weeks ago. Now because everyone else has got over it, it's not as bad for you. Because part of bad news is the way everyone's walking around moping, going, oh, have you heard the news? Frank's dead. But because everyone's got over it, time is a healer. That's what I mean about old news. It's better than new news.
But according to you, the only news that really matters is stuff that affects you. So it doesn't matter when you, there was an earthquake, when was it? Yesterday. Phew, that's alright then. Often the aftermath is worse than the actual event. 2, you only care about things that actually happen to you. So the doctor goes, you got a kidney stone. Oh, when did this happen? 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's alright then. Doesn't make sense.
No, but the world is...
You're not upset about dead Uncle Frank just because other people are upset. You'd be upset personally. Would it make any difference when they told you?
Yeah, but it is everyone else's emotions that make it worse, I think. Knocking around people who are miserable.
What about warnings? What about when they do things like smog warnings, or, you know, there may be a...
I don't like it on the news when they sort of say, news just in. I think, oh, what's this? You think, oh, what's going on?
But it might be useful to know it.
Important information.
No, it just makes you panic.
What? Yeah, but sometimes knowing stuff keeps you alive.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. It's sirens, you see, I don't like sirens, do I? I've said to you, I think it's a scary noise.
Well, it's meant to be so you get out of the way.
No, it's not meant to be. It's a sign to get out of the way. I'd prefer it if it... Like I said...
Hiya! Could you just move out of the way
Well, it can
for
be
us?
anything, as long as we know... It can be a chicken noise, but as long as you know
Oh,
that
that's not
chicken
gonna freak
noise...
people out.
No, but it sort of make you smile, but you go, oh, best get out
What,
of
you're
the way.
cycling along and you hear what sounds like a giant chicken behind you?
And you smile, because you know that even though someone is burning to death, there's something clucking in my way. Do-do-do-do, whack! Do-do-do-do, whack!
Oh, that's probably a guy having a heart attack. Going to my mum and dad's today. I'll cut to the chase, Rick. They basically, we got about 4 pages where they drive to his mum and dad's.
Oh, Jesus
I'll skip
Christ.
past that because it takes fucking forever. Got there with mum and dad. His mum made him some dinner. The old woman next door, brackets, whose man was a witch. Just pop that in brackets. Just pop that in brackets. I think we've discussed that before, actually. The old woman whose man was a witch.
Whose man was a witch.
Yeah.
Oh.
The old woman next door has been worrying because she keeps seeing adverts on the telly about changing to digital TV. She's saying she doesn't want wires drilled into her walls because they'll make a mess. Me dad told her that it doesn't matter because it'll probably won't happen until 2012 and she'll be dead by then.
He didn't say that to her, though, did
No,
he?
he did. They've got, you know, she's old. It doesn't... She knows she's going to die. I mean, it's something we've all got in common. And he's right, isn't he? Why is she worrying about it? Maybe that's sorted it out. Put it into perspective for her. You will be dead when this happens. Don't be worrying about it. But everybody worries, don't they? You've got that little sort of hole in your head that you fill with worries. You know, everyone's got to fill that little worry hole with worries, and that's it.
Worry hole. Everyone's got to fill the worry hole with
We've got to
worry.
assume that there's a worry hole.
A worry hole.
Don't be filled with worries.
I love the fact that, you know, doctors in the million years would dig this up and go, humans used to have a worry hole.
Went to bed around midnight. Suzanne and I decided to sleep tops and tails, because it made me get a bit more room. Me dad had cut a bit off the mattress to fit it between 2 cupboards. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes just sawing off a bit of the mattress. You sort of roll to the edge, but the weight of the blankets keeps you in. This is like something from a Roald Dahl book.
No, it's just, you know, you think anything, you can sort of trim anything, can't you? And it normally works. But with a mattress, I mean, he only took off, I don't know how long that is, but he's sawn off about that much on the mattress and then has stapled it back together again.
Amazing.
And it just makes so much difference.
Of course it does, because a mattress is a very carefully designed object.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, though, would you?
Well, you
just
would
think
if you had a
it's full of
fucking brain in
sponge.
your nut.
Someone took his brain out of his worry hole? Oh, God. He saw the mattress in half. So we decided to sleep tops and tails. It just gets stranger.
It's so strange. Why?
He did it to make the room nicer with the cupboards on either side.
So he sawed a mattress in half.
Well, not in half.
Can you imagine how much hard it must be to saw a mattress in half? What did he use? What, a big electric saw?
Well, it must have been, yeah, because there's a lot of springs and stuff in there.
Jesus.
So what happens to the springs? They just spring out the sides.
Well, some sort of stick out a little bit, but you're not lying on top, are you? They come out the side. So it's just got a bit of gaffer tape and a staple gun.
Unbelievable.
I mean, man alive. It's like...
Does he run it as a hotel? That's unbelievable.
There are squats with better bedding arrangements.
Well, we've had a bit of a bad thing in our house about mattresses and that, because when we first bought our first flat in Salford, you know what it's like when you buy somewhere, you sort of, you haven't got any money, have you, to buy extra stuff that you need. So, we'd bought a bed, right, but there's that rip-off thing with beds, where you buy a bed, but a mattress doesn't come with it, which I've never understood that. Because it's not a bed, is it? Without that mattress, it's not a bed. It's a car without an engine. You wouldn't go, there you go. Well, that seems cheap. There's no engine in it. So we bought this, like, you know, flat and what have you. And we bought the bed. And then, like, oh, we haven't got a mattress. So my dad got one from Uncle Alf. No, well, from that Uncle Alf fella, because he had one in his van that he used to use now and again if he was, like, travelling round. He'd just kip in the back on this mattress.
Amazing.
A bloke who drove around in a van with a mattress in the back.
So
How
Uncle
terrifying.
Alf, right? Well, tell me about Uncle Alf.
Well, you know about him, he's the one who slept in a dinghy. He's the one who...
Because his mattress was in his car.
Yeah, why didn't he go, oh, well, Alf, where's the bed? Left it in the car again. Oh, blow up the dinghy. Blow up the dinghy. I'm not going to go out and get there. Not at this time of night.
So anyway, my dad got me his mattress, and it just stunk of diesel. And Suzanne was like, "Oh, I'm not happy with this," and I think she realised sort of what sort of family
She got herself
and
into.
stuff.
Wow, she landed on her feet when she got you.
So
didn't she?
now she's always a bit touchy about, you know, mattresses and things.
Unbelievable.
Uncle Alf, of course, sadly passed away when he couldn't escape from his sinking ship.
The fire engines were too late. No one got out of the way because they were laughing so much.
The mad woman next door saw me and said, "Hello, Clive. You're living a nursery rhyme. The old man down the road, the old woman next door whose mum's a witch, Uncle Alf who lives in a dinghy."
This is like not a real place. It's like fucking Narnia.
It's a children's TV programme.
Unbelievable. Oh God. Oh, just all of them there on this broken mattress trying to find the golden ticket. Oh God. Oh God.
The old fella down the road talked to my dad a bit. He kept bees in the back garden.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Here comes the bee man.
His Yorkie dog was knocking about when he was messing with them, and it ended up getting stung 150 times.
Oh, little bastard! What is he doing?
It's not dead, but it cost a lot to get all the stings out. I don't know why people keep dangerous pets and insects. The amount of gear he had to wear to play with them is barmy. I don't think he's playing
He's
with
not
the bees.
playing with them, is he?
Well, what is he doing then?
Well, I don't know, but I think he should get the dog the same protection.
Yeah, but that's just it, isn't it? It's like, you can't mix your pets. If you've got a snake, you don't have a mouse. You know what I mean? They don't get on. And it's the same with them. Don't have bees. I can't imagine one bit of enjoyment. The only thing he does is the honey. And it's like, well, how much is that to buy? It's not worth messing about wearing a big white suit just to get some honey. There's a shop down the road.
Bees are kept for a very good reason, aren't they?
What?
For honey.
Yeah, no, but like I say, you can buy honey for next to nothing.
Where do you think... What do you mean? But where does the honey come from that you buy?
Yeah, from some proper bee farm. Let
Yeah.
them do it. All he's doing, he's not making loads of pots of honey. He's looking after himself. And the thing with honey is it doesn't go off either.
No, it doesn't, no.
So get 10 bees,
Yeah.
get the honey made, kick 'em out.
but you eat the honey, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but
It
that's
doesn't,
honey.
you can't eat it and then it's still there in the jar. It's not magical. Maybe in your world,
No.
yeah, Uncle Fred had that never-ending jar of honey.
But how much honey do you eat? What I'm saying is, it's one of them things in it that you buy, and you can move into a new house, buy some honey, and when you leave that house, that honey's still in the cupboard. You don't eat that much of it. So get 10 bees, get your honey's worth.
10 bees! Imagine keeping 10 bees!
Well, just get them to do the graft. If you got loads of bees, they're not all pulling the weight, are they? Because they'll go, well, I'm not doing any, because I'll leave it to the others. Whereas if you've got 10 bees, you know that none of them are pulling the weight if there's no honey. That's what I'm saying.
No, no, it's not a workhouse. Bees don't knock around saying, I got a bad back.
Anyway, back to this reading from the twits. The news covered a story about a fish that knocked about 400 million years ago. It was 33 feet long and had a jaw strong enough to eat a shark in one go. All the dangerous stuff seems to die out, and yet things that you think wouldn't stand a chance, like worms, are still here, yet they have no legs or eyes. I saw a future human in the news article the other month about the future woman. She had 3 breasts. They looked alright.
Well, no, that's not. I can't see how that's going to ever evolve.
No, well, they say about how, about evolving and that. I read that, there's going to be ugly people. People are starting to go ugly.
Yeah, they're still going to have bilateral symmetry, I imagine.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
I'll tell you now, right? They're talking about, like, people who are just like, you know, you look at them and you go, oh, look at the state of that, right? And it'll get to a point when we're all so ugly that no one will have it away, and we're just going to die out.
Well, that's not true either. That's not true either.
That is the biggest worry.
Well, no, so...
That's the world's biggest
So
worry,
as we
Rick.
evolve and we change, our mindset doesn't change. We're still going, I wish we looked like they did 1,000,000 years ago. I don't fancy anything.
No, but look how things do change.
But why are we all going to get ugly? I don't understand.
It's just the air and stuff, innit? It's just,
The air or
yeah,
the
just,
hair?
you know, the air that we breathe and stuff, and the food we eat. Everything's changing, and we're not going to look that healthy, and we're just all going to go ugly. You've only got to look at some stuff that's in the sea, and you think, look at the state of that.
What's
and that's
that got
because
to do with the human evolution?
But the stuff
Because
in the
they've
sea
been
is
around
still
longer.
propagating.
Yeah, but they've been around longer than us.
But it's still reproducing, so your theory falls down.
But they're deep down, aren't they, in the dark, so they probably can't see what they're having it away with. If they were up on the outside, they'd have died out ages ago.
Why? Because they wouldn't fancy the other stonefish or
Yeah, because they're
sea
really
slug.
odd looking. I can't remember the name. I think it was a viper something. It was just a head.
But Carl,
A fish that's just a head. It was well ugly.
Watched a programme about the twins this morning. It was filmed 16 years ago. They are mental. They did everything together, including the vacking up. Phone calls had to happen twice so they could both have the same chat, and they said the same stuff at the same time. Well weird. The bloke who I watched it with, I don't know who that is, just some homeless guys that you just invited into the
No,
flat?
just someone I've been sort of working with.
Sure, a mate of yours. He said he fantasised about having it away with a pair of twins. I don't see the point in this. If you're going to have two of something, I would prefer to have two different women. If I had two cars, I wouldn't have the same one twice. Same rule with women. I don't even normally like buying the same pair of trainers twice in a row.
No, if you're going to have something new, make a change. It's like that fella who was going out with a woman and then left her and went out with a twin sister. Not worth it.
Not worth it!
It's not worth the upheaval, is it? Because it's exactly the same model.
I watched the final of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was between singer Jason Donovan, singer Mylene Klass, and singer Matt out of a boy band. I had my money on Donovan, but Matt won it. I think it was because of his last task. He ate a fisheye, some grubs, a big fat insect that they have on every year, a crocodile knob, and a kangaroo anus. I feel like we've come there, Rick, to where we entered.
It was this time last year when we first started the podcast that we were talking about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and you coined the famous phrase I could eat a knob at night.
Yeah.
So it's full circle. It's just the last series finished recently, and it was astounding that he ate a crocodile knob, he ate a crocodile eye, he chewed up and swallowed a kangaroo's anus, which I to be honest, I didn't know was a food stuff. Could you eat any of that?
If I had to eat any of them, it would have to be the anus.
What, really?
Yeah, more than the other stuff. I couldn't eat anything that's still alive.
No. I
'cause,
agree.
I
I
think
couldn't
it's
eat
a bit-
any of that. I
bit
don't know under what circumstances I'd have to go, right, that's it now, we're not going to survive, the ship isn't coming, there is nothing on this island I can eat, give me the crocodile's penis.
So it wouldn't bother me. I could eat anything. I could do almost all of the challenges on that programme, but I couldn't cope in the camp. I couldn't cope with the lack of food and the uncomfortable bed. That's all that would do my head, and I'd drive people spare, whinging and complaining.
I couldn't cope with any aspect of it except the physical challenges. I couldn't cope with sleeping with people snoring, the things crawling over you. I'm not so squeamish about that, like snakes and things. That's all right. But the eating is ridiculous. It's out of the question to eat a worm or a grub.
It doesn't concern me. I don't know why. I don't see really what the difference in it. The texture's probably the same as lots of other things.
What would hunger do to you, though, do you think? Would you think I would change? Do you think, if it really was a choice, if someone said, and I knew I would die if I didn't eat worms...
I think you would, yes. I think you'd complain and you'd whinge for a while, and you'd try and put it off, and you'd hope a ship would turn up. But when it didn't, you'd start chowing down on a bit of crocodile anus.
But then where's the rest of the crocodile?
Well, yeah, that's a good
who's
point.
been eating that? How come I've got this? You're meant to, work together as a team in bad time, and yet I'm being handed an anus. Forget it. Let me starve.
Well, thanks for listening. That was the Christmas podcast. We should say the winner of the last competition we did. They can win the podcast book and Flanimals and the extras book that's out, still available,
All available.
and the CD.
The three CD set of the best of the podcast.
Yeah,
Is that
with
right? Series
with
one.
brand new hour. If you haven't got that, get out. Maybe you've got some record tokens.
Yeah, if you've got record tokens or book tokens, those are the perfect things to spend them on.
Or £50 from your auntie.
Exactly.
Let's go and buy one of those. And the winner was Stephanie Prow from the Wirral.
Well done, Steph.
Well done. Well, thank you to Positive Internet, the guys that host this podcast. That's the end. That's the end of the Christmas podcast and the end of this team for a little while.
Yeah.
It's been great. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais. Goodbye from Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye and Happy New Year.
And goodbye from Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Alright. That was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's good. It's all right. What are you doing now? You got time for a coffee or something?
I can't now. I'm going to the You know the orphanage for terminally ill kids?
Oh yeah.
I'm going down there. I go down there every Christmas and
Yeah, do you?
entertain them.
Oh well, I bet that's lovely for him.
Yeah, no, I've actually written a song I'm going to perform. They see The Office and see that I sing in that.
You've written a song for them?
Yeah.
Well, could we hear a bit? I mean, what? I don't want to put you on the spot, but you've got the guitar there, isn't it?
Yeah. I wrote this for a kid. He's a brave little guy. He's only about 10, but it's heartbreaking. He's Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's coming soon. Though you ain't got a mommy or daddy, Santa still loves you. And he's riding on his reindeer to trample down the gloom. So don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's coming soon. Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's feeling kind, though you know you'll never see him. He's not just in your mind, and it's not that he's invisible. It's because you're going blind. So don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's feeling kind. Don't cry, it's Christmas. Santa's on his way, though he's got a billion children, and he's only got one day. You've got slightly less than that. If I were you, I'd pray, but don't cry. It's Christmas, and it sounds a little gay. Oh, isn't that be quite moving for everyone?
Yeah, I would ask you now to not play that song.
Oh no, too late now, they expect me.
But I'm not sure it's going to be as well received as you perhaps hope.
I think that's better than any gift, and I don't really want to give gifts because they're expensive.
Sure.
Good advice, lovely. So, would you like to start on your, to Steve, because I've heard all these.
We won't do them all.
Well, we'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, I don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like, a Friday.
Yeah.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in. You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Otherwise he'd have been in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions, because he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, and chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. It's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did you sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yes. Well, they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right? Yeah. So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like my mum and dad are putting the stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back. Right, straight away, just right back like
Swallow
that.
Right,
but it went down the wrong way, right? So I was
down
like,
your shirt?
So I was like, oh god, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick. Yeah. And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, and she's going, oh god, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. If it was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and mint imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff. So anyway, she's going, oh god, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it. And
So-
she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had I think he'd put his share away, his food away, and he'd gone.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch Winner Takes All or whatever in the lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just was falling to the ground. And my mum's going, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him, and my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
You look like Marilyn Manson.
And, so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, winded me. And it came up, and I was alright.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand. Because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it. So it went down your sort of your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been alright.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no, you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on,
one.
but
No, but the weird thing is, for 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of special person. I went to school.
I'm saying nothing.
I did full days.
a special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turn over a leaf.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah, did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that where you've felt like I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell. We'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean?
You had no
scared.
regrets?
No. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it!
No, I really enjoyed it. It's you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You sort of
You're spreading information to people, vital information.
Giving a service, and no one else is around, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around his bike.
So getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round. And
why'd you get up at 4:30?
Because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch the Pink Panther?
And then did the paper.
He went, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
You'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was winter, really bad winter, bad snow, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p. So, people want the papers and stuff. So,
conscientious.
So anyway, I went to bed thinking, that's it, I've told her I'm still going, so, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had a big anorak on with the fur on. I had waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out and tried to open the door and it was locked. Oh God, so she'd locked it so I couldn't go out. So I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh God, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window.
God.
Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on the hook of, do you know how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah,
the little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding onto the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there.
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad, and going, "Dad, it's me." And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing, a big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life, and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle, there was nothing you could do, do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, not messing around.
Yeah.
So
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad!
Hurry up!
Panther, ever so pink. Oh.
So that was close to death, because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving, so...
Well, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, no. There must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's got to be one. That was explained so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said, I bet I can't kick me height. And I said, I bet I can. And,
I don't remember this. You didn't tell me this one.
I bet he can, what?
I was in the garden, summer's day, and it was that era when, like, doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was, like, messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said...
What a kid he must have been.
My dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? Well, you mean kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been, like, 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on, like, the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But didn't, like, get my foot down quick enough and land on
you
my back.
paused to say, there, I've done it.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm gonna die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Right? He said, I don't like the feel.
Carl, always check your balls.
Do you
I
check
don't like the
yours?
feel. Why don't you like the feel of your own balls?
They just... I mean, you know that I don't like bodies anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It worries me a bit that you've got all that going on in your body, right, and your skin's keeping it all in place.
Stop. We're going down a whole other avenue of discussion. Let's play a track, let's come back to it.
Oh, right, I've brought in this, this is, free, you'll know, from the jeans commercial.
Yeah, All Right Now
Long
and
time
everything,
ago,
yeah.
All Right Now, yeah. But this is a great little track. This is, My Brother Jack. Stereophonics, Vegas 2 times, XFM 104.9, into the last hour.
Yeah.
And then 3 shows to go.
That's true enough.
Till we're off the air. I'm Ricky Gervais.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Carl.
Oh, yeah.
Alright?
Yeah.
Let's go on, tell you, we cut short last week, weren't we? You had an amazing story about Neil Armstrong, didn't you?
Well, we've been doing quotes, haven't we, like famous quotes.
Sure.
Yes. I've, gone down in history.
Yeah.
And, I was saying, quotes don't really matter. It's more the situation that you're in than the quote itself.
Go on.
So, like, Neil Armstrong,
Yeah.
if he'd have said,
Tie bacon round your head.
I'm as happy as a pig in dust.
that would have still gone down in history as, like, being the thing that Neil Armstrong said, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
Space is driven in mental, probably would have been
But he chose to say something profound and meaningful, to befit the situation. He got it wrong, actually. It's, a small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, but he was meant to say...
We discussed this last week, Rick. Stop showing off.
Well, no, but people might have been listening last week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I can't imagine
Well,
people...
we better tell them every week, then.
Yeah, but he said, he should have said, this is one small step for a man.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a good effort, and that's quite...
And that's an example of what I'm saying. The fact that he got it wrong, but it still went down in history.
Right.
But anyway, the bit that, and it didn't happen anyway, did it?
What do you mean it didn't happen anyway?
That's what a lot of people say. That no one's actually been on the moon.
Ah, yes, of course.
They filmed it in Teddington Studios.
Well, they were saying something about there was shadow on the film, and you wouldn't get shadow on the film, and there's all sorts of things.
These people that you always quote as they,
Who are they?
are they living in jars? Are they little fellas in jars? Go on.
Do they appear to you in dreams?
I've spoken to different people about it, and there's loads of little things that if you watch that programme, of them being on the moon, there is no way they could have done it.
Right.
Done.
Fine. Yeah.
Done.
Anyway.
That's put to bed.
Yeah.
But
Good.
anyway, as he was getting back in the spaceship on the moon, or whether it be a TV studio, he said, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Right.
Have you heard this?
No.
And the reason he said that was because when he was a young kid, and he was I think it was Croucher, but when he was playing as a young kid in his garden, he was playing baseball with his mate, and he chucked the ball to his mate, and his mate hit the ball, and the ball went over the fence to the next door neighbour. Right, so he goes, right, I'll have to snip over and get the ball. And as he was getting the ball, the window was open to his neighbour's house, and he heard, like, the woman shouting at her husband, saying, "I'm not going to be giving you, a bit rude, so if you've got a kid in the car or whatever, turn it down." What, yeah, that's covered that, yeah. Right,
Genius.
I'm not, no matter how many times you ask me, I'm not going to be giving you oral sex. The day I do that, man would have walked on the moon. Right?
Yeah.
He grows up, he gets on the moon, and he remembers all that story, and as he gets back in the spaceship, he says, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Now, do you know, I have to say, I've heard that story before, but when I heard it, the woman said, the day I give you a blowjob is the day the boy next door walks on the moon. Which makes it all the more profane.
Impossible.
And enjoyable. Yeah, and unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've heard the same story, Carl.
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
I love that.
Right, so not only have you remembered that anecdote, which may or may not be true, but of course you've also proven
The
that,
day I give you a blowjob, that kid in the garden's probably going to walk on the moon and say something about giant leaps.
Exactly.
But, yeah, you must have heard the thing that it never actually happened.
Yes, we've all heard it. We've all dismissed it as nonsense.
And moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got on with our lives.
Right, Carl.
What?
Should we do, White Van Man?
Well, you didn't prepare me for that. We better play a track and then I'll I'll fish out the newspaper and stuff.
This is a good little bootleg track here from, Meats and Poultry here. They've, mixed, A with, Outcast.
Right.
Of course, it's great.
Is it highly illegal?
It is.
So people shouldn't rush to their tape machines now and press play and
Okay, so
record.
whatever you do, don't record this now if you're recording it. Hold on, don't say anything. Well, that bootleg's going under the name of, Nothing, Miss Jackson, I think, by, Meats and Poultry. So there you go.
I do love these bootleg things because they're so pointless, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's fun to do. Yeah,
exactly.
they're
really good
they're
fun.
great. But, not as much fun as White Van Carl.
White Van Carl, absolutely. Do you want to explain the premise?
Well, we take the Sun asks someone else and asks Carl. It's simple as that. The Sun have just taken a normal person, we flipped it. We're gonna ask Carl the same questions about the week's news.
Yeah, just basically your opinions, Carl, as ever. What do you make of, well, obviously the big news, David Beckham's broken foot? Is this a big concern for you?
No, I mean, it's sad, you know, it's sadder for him more than anyone, because, you know, to like, be in the World Cup is, like, the main thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's still a young lad, and, I don't think he'll give up. I reckon he'll still turn up. He'll be alright, and, yeah, good luck to the lad. You know I like David, I'm not gonna slag him off.
What's words?
He says that like he knows him, like he's popping round for drinks later.
Yeah, like we tried to stitch you up. Go on.
But, obviously yesterday, was it yesterday, I think maybe Thursday, the Sun printed a big picture of, David's, foot, and encouraged everyone to touch it at midday, because hoping that this would somehow, if we all thought and prayed together, somehow that would help his foot heal. Do you believe in that? Any belief in that?
No, you're going down the old, like, Yora Geller route, aren't you?
Sure.
And it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, it's nice effort and everything, it sort of cheers everyone up.
Hold on, you believe in ghosts and warlocks and licking toads. Why is that any more stupid than all those things?
It's not gonna work, is it?
Alright.
Fine.
It's rubbish.
Okay.
Okay, what about this then? There's, apparently now available £1.5 million apartments available on an exclusive ship which sails around the world.
Yeah, it's like,
What do you make of that?
it's a huge thing, and you live on it, and it's, I mean, in theory,
How big is it?
it's mental.
you know
It's
when
like
huge
a
luxury
town
liner.
centre.
Do you know how, like, people said that the Titanic was the biggest ship? Was that only then? They've got
Yes.
bigger ones now, haven't they?
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
Oil tankers are much bigger, and, yeah.
No, but actual
Liners are big. Yeah, it was the biggest then, yeah.
Because my mum told me that there was one that was that big that it had, like, rough areas on it.
Oh, God! Don't go starboard.
Oh, God!
No, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like
we're thinking of moving. We're seeing the captain. We're thinking of moving to a nicer area. Oh, yeah.
I've heard they're very rough in aft.
Oh God! Oh, that's
They steal your tyres.
That ship's so big that was rough areas. Oh.
How big is this one that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't give me the specifications here, but
They're huge. They're huge. In theory, I mean, it's that thing with it's obviously marketing, but they're gonna solve the overpopulation crisis, where soon we'll all just be floating around the sea.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can see that, because I mean, think about it, right? I've been talking to Ricky about it. I was hoping to buy somewhere in London, but there is no way in this world that I can afford it, right? And you look at all the wasted space, like with the Thames. All it's doing is like collecting crisp packets and stuff and Coke cans, and people have to clean it up. Whereas if you got a load of boats on there, problem solved.
Yeah. Would you live on a boat?
problem solved.
What's his name did it, didn't he? What's that programme? Was it Bergerac?
Noah. Oh, Bergerac?
There was one where he lived on a boat. I think it's quite.
That was Shoestring.
Yeah, I'd give it a go anyway.
Noah.
I'd like to see you living in the air, maybe in a giant hot air balloon.
Yeah, all right. But no, the boat thing. Because it is going to get bad as well, isn't it? They're saying that the water's melting or whatever.
The water's melting.
The ice is melting.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more water and less land. So in the future, it's probably going to be the way we're going to be living, isn't it?
Have you seen that film Waterworld?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
Because
that
sort of predicts that, yeah.
What, are they saying that the ice thing is
Exactly, yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you get, I think I read that, like, a big chunk of ice, fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like that. I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water, and it's melted. And they're saying, oh, it's bad news, you know, that something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube, and it's gonna freeze it up again. You with me?
Not really, Carl.
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube, the size of the Empire State Building, stick it in the water, it's gonna make, it's gonna stick back on again, isn't it?
Well, no, only if it freezes up again.
Yeah, well, it will freeze up. The water's going to get cold again because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the ice
melts. If you put one the size of an Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's going to make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but I'm using my fables. Imagine the world.
Use your brain instead.
Imagine the world, imagine the sea, like the Arctic or whatever, as a glass of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A big ice cube falls into it.
Yeah.
It freezes, it melts back on again. So we're alright, I don't know why everyone's worrying.
Please God.
Thank God for that, I was getting panicked.
Oh, fine.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that will happen.
Should we play some more music and then come back to one?
Yeah, this is better than ever.
This is dynamite this week.
Fine in here on XFM 104.9. We're doing White Van Carl. Got another one there?
Well, it's just your thoughts really on the Queen Mum's very British send-off that she was given this week.
Yeah.
What do you make of all those people queuing up to see her? Did you think that was incredible?
Right. Well, we said last week, you know, there was I don't quite understand why there was so many people there, who were, like, getting really upset. Do you know what I mean? Really upset. Crying and stuff, and you know, you can lose someone who's like related to you, and you don't cry like that. You sort of sit there and you think back to what you did with them and stuff, and then that's it. But the queue thing, wasn't it like miles long and stuff?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Right, I was sat watching this with Susan.
12 hours queuing.
Yeah.
It never got to 12 hours.
It did, but that was the estimated time.
No,
but how long is a queue when they're just like, you know, walking along? Think how far you can sort of like, you know, stagger in 12 hours.
Incredible.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, you know, if they want to do that, it's their time and that, isn't it? And it was at the weekend, so they could have. It's not as if they got out of work to do it. No. You know what I mean, they used their own time, so good on them. But I thought, right, what they could have done. Remember when I studied Che Guevara?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. And don't be offended by this, it was just an idea, because they did it with Che Guevara. Remember when they cut him up?
Yes, they cut him up, yeah.
What was the reason for cutting him up?
Well, they cut up Che in order to try and, you told us that they were going to send bits of his body to Fidel Castro and various other people, wasn't that right?
As a warning, wasn't it, though, to all the people, like, one to...
Yeah, my understanding was that they cut him up in order to, so they could bury him in different places, so that there'd be no shrine, there'd be not one place that you could go to in order to make him into a martyr.
A little bit like that. I've like...
I can vaguely see where this is going.
6 queues, and it's like... number one, you can, you know, go and pay respect to her head, or whatever.
Oh, God.
No, but I just was thinking the way of speeding it up. I'm not having a go, I'm not, because they haven't done it, so it doesn't matter.
God.
But they did it with Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Everybody would have felt like they've got close to her, and it would have speeded it up.
No, I mean, but I can understand.
Can I just say that genuinely, Carl is not being disrespectful here. This is his best idea to cut down the queues. So don't phone in. He's not suggesting we should have done this. He genuinely is. Well, but I mean, he's not doing it to be nasty or wacky or you know. He thinks this is a good idea, so...
Can I just throw a thought at you?
Che Guevara, who was like a powerful man, he did a lot for the world and what have you.
Yeah.
And...
Are you aware that I feel slightly responsible for this, because have you heard of the quote, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, next one?
No, just a very quick question. I can understand those that have queued for 12 hours to see the head. I'd be a little bit annoyed if I got there to find a toe.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what they could do without chopping her up. They could put about 9 queues, each could see each hip she had.
That's true enough.
Because she's had about 9 of them.
Yeah.
So it'd just be, if you want to see the whole body, it's a 12-hour queue. If you just want to see a couple of the hips.
Here's another suggestion for you, I've just thought, right?
What?
Instead of everyone queuing to see her, why not put her on a trolley and wheel her past everyone else?
Running. So
yeah, you could have some students on Rag Week, they can combine it, like when they're always pushing a bed. You know, they could just run it along the queue.
No, that'd be
fantastic.
that'd be disrespectful.
Right, as opposed to the chopping up.
So...
Sure.
Right.
But just an idea.
Just I apologise now if anyone's offended.
Anyone offended, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah.
Okay, finally, this is more frothy. Liz Hurley lying low, apparently, at Elton John's house to try and avoid the press now that she's had a child.
That's a good place to go to avoid the press.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, Elton John's house,
Everyone seems to be friends with Elton John.
Yeah,
Every celebrity's
when
friends
did
with...
pop into Elton John's house? What, is he running some sort
But
of...
it was like when Robbie Williams was a drunkard and a drug addict, he went to Elton John's.
Yeah, and who's the other fellow that went there as well? Was somewhere to, you know, to recuperate and shoulder the crime. So is he giving out false passports?
But I don't know if people have seen his history. He's not the man of, you know, I mean, I know he's cleaned himself up now, but, you know, maybe that's it. Maybe he's got this kind of insight into how to deal with celebrity.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's just genuine mates with him. I think he's just like a friendly
I
bloke.
think she's been doing too much lying low in the first place. That's part of the problem, isn't it?
High five, Carl.
That was a genuine joke from Carl there. And he's so proud of himself. Look at his little face.
Too much lying low.
Oh, that was my
but I
man,
agree
Carl.
with you. Why can't she just go around to her mum and dad's or something rather than Elton John where everyone's looking? Yeah.
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 That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Very good, yeah. Right, what music we got? We got,
Bit of Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips, excellent. There's the classic Race for the Prize. Should have been a big hit, never was, sadly. The Flaming Lips and Race for the Prize. Just playing that rip for everyone who emails us in. We get a lot of emails every week, but obviously don't really respond to them because we're very lazy people, but we obviously appreciate it. And I play that particularly for Claire, who's emailed in saying her friend Sarah Prosser would like some Beatles. We're not going to play the Beatles this week, but Sarah apparently loves us more than words can express.
More than Carl could express.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stop you there, Steve. You don't want an advert. Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Mitchell. And now it's Carl's bit. It's the re-education of Carl. He's like Liza Doolittle. And now he's coming to, or Lawnmower Man, if you've seen that film. More like Lawnmower Man, if you've seen the film. You know what I mean. And his homework was to just study quotes, really, on happiness and stuff and general well-being. He's not a big happiness quote fan, are you, Carl?
Not really.
So what have you done? You've come up with something, haven't you?
Right, yeah, I told you, right? Because a lot of these are just things you say every day. They're nothing special. So what I'm doing...
Well, you say them every day.
Well, the sort of things you come out with and you don't even think about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on the TV all the time, people on the radio are saying these sort of little quotes.
Sure.
And, what I've done is, remember that programme on Channel 4, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where they got some, like, posh kid to be on a door and all that. What I've done, I've,
Imagine if that was the pitch for the show. Dear Channel 4. You're just gonna get a posh kid on a door or something?
Yeah,
Yours
come
sincerely,
in,
Carl.
come in. Yeah.
TV producer.
Yeah, yeah, go on.
So, what I've done, this little book of quotes, happiness quotes, I've picked 2 that are real.
Okay.
And I've made one up. Right?
And we've got a guess.
And you've got to guess.
Okay, then, go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, why don't we when we've heard them, we won't confer.
No.
You'll write down yours,
Yeah.
A, B, or C, and I'll
Yeah.
write down mine, and we'll
Sure.
see how it
Okay,
goes.
Carl, off you go.
Right, and just because I'm looking at this book, it doesn't mean I'm actually reading.
No, I know,
Don't
no,
worry,
I know.
we're clever.
No, we know, we can't see yet.
Can I
Yeah.
call my bluff?
Yeah, go on
Okay. Nothing is worth more than this day.
then. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah?
Alright.
yeah.
The way I see it,
Oh God, my head's gonna burst.
now hang on.
My head's gonna burst.
No,
Hang
no,
on.
this might not be Carl's.
It might not be.
How do you know I haven't tweaked them a little bit?
Yeah, good
Okay,
point.
fair
Good
enough.
point. No, good point.
The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Alright, yeah.
Okay. No. That's not- yeah.
Come on.
Cat food.
Cat food, come on.
It stinks a bit. But if you don't put up with the smell, the little kitten will die.
Steve, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Imagine this is faking it. Imagine their faces when he says that, and they're going, "Oh my God." Oh, Carl, play a song, mate.
We'll have to confer on this one.
Well, that's just amazing, Carl. Just read them again. Two were real, one was fake. Go on then.
Right. First one. Nothing is worth more than this day.
Excellent. Next one.
What does that mean?
Well, cherish now, cherish your time.
okay.
Because you can't get it back, and
Yeah,
you know.
that's the way I saw it.
Carpe diem, whatever it is, seize the day and all that.
Okay. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rough with the smooth. You know, it's not all plain sailing, but you know, rainbow's beautiful, but it comes because of the rain, which you might not like. So
Yeah.
make the most of everything, and yeah. Good.
Cat food doesn't smell good, but if you don't put up with it, then the little kitten will die.
Right, now, Carl, that is a good effort. Now, that one's yours. I mean, obviously, right?
Right.
Right, no, but it's a good effort, right?
I mean, it slipped seamlessly into the others.
Yeah.
I don't think it didn't.
No, but it's good. I mean, we knew it was that one, but, what I will say is, it's good, but what you don't know, maybe subconsciously, is, I mean, it's very similar to, the putting up with the rain and the rainbow, but that's good.
Why do you think that?
Well,
What does mine mean?
well, even though it smells bad, it's good for something.
Right,
So
see,
that's
I didn't look at it like that.
What do you look at?
I kind of thought...
Was yours more specifically about cat food, generally? Because you know, normally it's an analogy.
Yeah, or a metaphor for something, you know, much bigger.
well, no, the way
I mean,
looked at it-
Dolly Parton, who I think did the rainbow rain thing, she wasn't specifically concerned about weather conditions.
No.
It was a sort of general idea.
Yeah,
It's all about light.
Yeah,
It
well,
exists.
that's what I've done.
Go on,
I've used an everyday thing
Yeah,
and put it with today's problems, right?
Go on.
So, like, my girlfriend, yeah, she might like to go shopping for clothes. I hate it,
right.
but because I love her, I put up with it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you love that little kitten. You can't stand the smell of the stuff you got to feed it, but because you love it, you go, well, you know, I'll put up with this just for a few minutes, and then I can like squeeze its head later and give it a little,
Sorry. Can we go back?
you know, stroke its head and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a bit of a slip, was it?
Squeeze its little head.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing that I do with cats.
Put it in a bag and drown it in a lake.
I can feed it and then I can throw it against the wall.
exactly.
So you didn't see it like that, did you?
No, that's very good. So it's about love, is it? It's about putting up with the bad things
Yeah.
for something you love.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
But
that's very
Carl, you seem now to be convinced and rather smug that you've tricked us and that you've fooled us and that we didn't understand it. Well, I say that's your fault, not ours.
No, it's not though. I mean, look, that man in Forrest Gump, he was a bit of a nutter. And he came up with the life as a box of chocolates thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was in this book, you say, oh yeah, brilliant, you know, good bit of work. But if he was sat here doing the show with you,
Yeah.
you'd be taking the mickey out of him.
Sometimes I feel he is.
No, but, Carl, I could, in fact, if people are out there, we're too lazy, could you write down everything Carl's ever said? Because I think we could publish that.
Yeah.
He said one today, he saw my, salamander, it's not a euphemism, he saw my salamander and it's just sitting there in the tank.
Your exotic pet.
Yeah, and he's worried about there not being a lid on, and he said, I went, what are we worried about? He said, wow. He said it sits there for 24 hours a day, obviously planning to get out.
Well, it's got nothing else on its mind, and it's the daft thing is, he has actually got the lid ripped up a little bit. Like, it's got nothing else to think about. And it'll be looking up there, and it's going to get out.
But what's the worst that could happen?
What's it thinking? What do you think it's thinking, this salamander?
It's got its eye on the DVD player. I could have Ian be down the market.
Well...
Oh, God!
Are they dangerous?
Can I just say something?
Are they dangerous?
I think the salamander's thinking exactly the same things as you. I mean, to look at you, you've got the same expression on your face. You know what I mean? You're dressed in green as well. You've got a little round sort of Hamburglar type head, like the salamander. Very similar. And yet I think, and you bonded with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I probably would have tried to get out, but my little paper round bag would just hang on the corner.
Yeah.
Listen, can we have more nepotism on the show? I know that we did that earlier with the
We haven't got long, have we?
We have my housemate. You remember I was working out with him last week to Helen from Big Brother's dance-a-size video.
That's just frightening.
Yeah, we've kind of let that slip a little bit. I've got to be honest. But anyway, he's joined this band. They're called Fujiya and Miyagi. Slightly difficult to pronounce. But anyway, this is a track that I think's been getting some play by Nick Luscombe and John Kennedy on XFM. They got a gig this week at the Pool on Curtin Road. That's 18th of April, Thursday. Let's play it.
Can I just say I've got a fridge freezer for sale, 400 quid or nearest offer.
Fujiya and Miyagi performing live Thursday the 18th of April at the Pool on Curtin Road. Admission is free, Rick, so I imagine you'll be heading down there.
Yeah, I will. Well, I've enjoyed this show.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It's great. It's been great. Carl, any more? I'll tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about, well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And, the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver.
Yeah.
You used to have to, sort of do your bit for the local area.
Oh, God.
By taking the Forrest Gump people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A minibus with Life is a Box of Chocolates.
Exactly.
.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump type.
It must have, so you work with these people.
It was,
the people with learning difficulties.
And they used to get five.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And they had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and he couldn't control him.
Oh,
and what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. He was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Could you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good time.
What, he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half.
In a wheelie bin?
In a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. One of those,
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but, do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. You just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his, family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away, and he took him there. There's no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble, so he pulled over it.
No, right, so he took him there, everything's fine, he dropped him off, they had a lovely night, right, they had a lovely night, won a bit of cash, coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, I want to be dropped off here, take me there, I want to be dropped off first, I've got to get up early, blah blah, you know, my husband's expecting me, I'm already late, take me here first, take me there, and he just pulled up, in the middle of nowhere, said, get out. And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking them home in the minibus, and he got the sack. Well, a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me.
Yeah, so he acts like a madman. Good.
Oh, that was great.
We've got to crack on, haven't we, really?
Says so much. Yeah.
Yes, Nick Drake, a song for the ladies this week from the album Brighter Later, At the Time of a City Clock. That's
Goodbye.
it. Yeah,
Goodbye.
See you next time.
Bye.